Okay, thanks for stopping in. And today I wanted to take a look at some of the psychology that goes along with watching cartoons. Like, the cartoon world is an MFer, man. I'm telling you, it's an absolute beast. And we're gonna kind of look at why this is. This cartoon is called Tweety and the Beast, and this is a 1944 cartoon, right? It's origin stories, right? So I wanted to look at like how they behave, like the stuff that they do, and just kind of get a deeper meaning. So let's take a look at this here. Like, this is one of the first. Like, we see this Tweety Bird, and we see this scenario. It's always about food, right? 100%. Okay. So we're used to that, but this is where the story gets like really interesting. So we see the food, and obviously this is the point where the chase is on. This is the infamous, I thought I saw a Tweety Bird, right? This is where all that actually comes from, right? Him thinking he saw a Tweety Bird, right? And he did see a Tweety. I did. Like, he says it later. I did saw a Tweety Bird. And he did. Okay. So this is where we get into the interesting part of the conversation. Because, comic book cartoons in this fashion mess with psychology and also physics. Like you have to have superpowers to exist in a cartoon world. So the bird exits, and we see him flying first. Now, the first thing we see here is that this bird appears to not have adequate wings. He's very calm when he takes off, right? He doesn't have big enough wings, so this has got to be some kind of self-propelled levitation, right? This is not driven by mechanisms. It's a casual independence of flight, and he recognizes this, right? And then the thing that gets interesting is now we see the cat goes after him flying. Now, what we're seeing behaviorally from the cat is you're not supposed to fly, but you're defying gravity with zero explanation as to why. Now, the first thing is that, he jumps out of there purely because I want to get this bird so bad, right? So it's a complete suspension of thinking and a single-mindedness that we see going towards this cat, right? And then there's the profound moment, right, where he realizes at this moment that he ain't supposed to fly. He can't fly, okay? And what happens says a lot about his powers here, because he's manifesting flight right now. He's already been doing it. I'm already flying. If I just react to something in the real world and I start flying, that means I can fly, right? But then they tell him that you can't fly, and he immediately falls to the ground. So what this is saying is that this power, this ability, is a mental ability. He's flying until he realizes that he shouldn't be able to fly. And then he instantly drops. You go from right here to flying really good, and within a couple of frames, you're already headed towards the ground, right? So this says a lot. Like, everything about the belief system about gravity is rooted in belief. If he believes that he can do something, he can. So this shows that his powers are related to some self-awareness. Because once you realize you can't fly, now you're headed to the ground. So believe that you can do something in this world. So this state, what Tweety does is destabilize the cat's physics, or his defying of physics. So then you're on your way to the ground. Now we see Tweety again sitting on top of a cloud, like it's solid furniture, right? And what we're seeing from him is his detachment from this danger. He doesn't care. This cat's about to die. The cat's falling down, right? You see the panic. He's falling down. Tweety does not care. So emotionally, he's above it. He does not. He sees the danger. He's aware of exactly what's going to happen, but he's not even worried about it. He's a predator in punishment mode right here. And then we see the cat crashing down to the ground, right? And how do you survive through this? This is a full impact, right? So, predators like this in the cartoon world are extremely durable. This is God tier durability, right? Like, to fall from this height, you're fine. To survive, enough force that it left an imprint into the ground, right? So he's showing God tier durability and self-inflation. He has impact immunity. He has all these things that would allow him to say this. His bones would have to regenerate within one frame because he's already back up. You went from this to this in moments. So this is instant healing power. This is way above anything that Wolverine's got, right? So we're seeing a lot from this cat and just the overall powers from the cat and this bird, is Tweety Bird at this time, right? So then we go on to this next scene. This is the same cartoon where Tweety Bird clearly is coming to seek the aid of a dog, right? And he does it by running into the dog's food, and now he draws the dog out. So what we're seeing from Tweety Bird is this hierarchical mapping. He understands that Butch in this world outranks the cat in terms of violence. So he runs to an authority, someone who would be a bane for the cat. That means he's very aware. He's far beyond what a regular Tweety Bird would exhibit. And he understands conflict exploitation. He understands like rivalries enough to put it to use for him. So this is very strategic cognition. He's super aware. The dog has nothing to do with it. He lures him in by hiding in the dog's food. That's going to trigger the cat. The cat's going to trigger the dog. And the chase is on, right? So we instantly go into this chase. This says a lot about Tweety because this means he's not innocent. He's very calculating because he understands the cause and effect, and it happens. Now the chase is on. He's even running with the dog, right? And here's the messed up part. He's using the dog as a pawn. And here's some foreshadowing. You see the dog running. The dog's got his chain on. Now we see that the chain is still tied in, right? Tweety's smart enough to understand all the nuances of the relationship. So he understood the dog was going to be chained up and what was going to happen to the dog, which would be that. The dog gets pancaked. So the dog who's done nothing, who has no skin in the game and whatsoever, all of a sudden has to pay this cost of being Tweety's protector that he never asked for, right? And he sees it there. He's laid out. So Tweety's very calculating and not in a good way, okay? So then there's this next scene, this scene here, where he literally walks into the mouth of the cat, right? He's literally walking into the mouth of this cat, which shows like he is not taking agency anymore. Like for him to walk in, Tweety's voluntary. Tweety is not showing prey behavior. That's not prey behavior, okay? What he's showing is apex predator confidence, and maybe he is that. He steps into his mouth like he's a landlord checking a property he owns. This isn't fear, this is dominance. And why? Because he knows he's got something. So in this scene, it's dark in here inside the mouth. He produces a match. But here's the thing. He produces a match from out of nowhere. There was no match on him. The match is literally bigger than him. So what he's doing is showing us classic Toon field manifestation, where he's reaching into the cartoon ecosystem, cartoon fabric, and materializing a match from pure narrative intent. Okay, that's a very powerful creature. Imagine if you could do that. And then he decides that he's going to light the match inside of a wet mouth. So even cartoon physics, he breaks the very rules of physics because of his power of manipulation. It trumps moisture, it trumps physics and combustion laws. So now we see the cat on the inside getting burnt up, right? And now, of course, like what do you do when you see a fire? Well, you see a fire, you come back, you get safe, you come back as a fireman, which is what he does. So instantly he's got a costume. So he's manifesting a costume out of nothing, right? Then we'll see him teleport, right? Instantly on top of the gas can. Where'd you get a gas can from? Again, I'm reaching into his pocket in time space and pulling whatever I need. This is the ultimate prop manipulation. He's not using water, he's using gas, so he knows what he's doing, right? He grabs the wrong tool on purpose. He doesn't just fetch props, he conjures the exact prop required for maximum damage and maximum violence on this cat here, right? So he's showing a lot of things. One, that he's not innocent. He understands the dog, he understands cat biology, he understands the environment, he understands like narrative coincidence. He's not acting out of fear, he's punishing Sylvester in ultimately escalating in very theatrical ways. So we see him again in this last part, okay, after the explosion, right? And why did he use gasoline? Let's talk about gasoline right here. Why does he manifest gasoline? Because he wants to, if he wanted to save Sylvester, he would have gotten water. The gasoline escalates the danger, so it shows more intent. It shows more awareness on his part. And he's also kind of playing with the tool that he doesn't die, that the cat cannot kill him. This is why he's able to go so close to all this risk. Now we see, okay, this scene here where the cat's all bruised up, but he still wants that golden bird, right? He's still trying to get this golden bird. He reaches off the screen and he materializes a sign that's going to be a bird nest, and he's going to have a hammer. All this stuff is one of the golden rules of cartoon or Toon universe god powers is manifestation. To reach beyond the borders into a pocket dimension, you can dip in and get anything you need. And so this is what the cat does. He's not just grabbing props, he's summoning from the Toon void everything he needs. So this is very powerful. Bugs Bunny uses for a stick of dynamite or a banjo or a can of shaving cream. Whatever it is, it's all in there. And then he builds this nest, of course, and you get a chicken who comes around here. It wasn't made for this chicken, but she jumps in it. Not only does she jump in it, man, she's feeling good about it and lays an entire clutch of eggs, okay? Now, a couple things happen. So, how does she lay 20 eggs like that? What she's doing is she's showing temporal decompression. She's taking all these events and condensing them into a quick period of time. Ovulation, gestation, egg formation. She gets it all done post haste, right? She gets it done right then. So this is this is a very powerful chicken that we're seeing here. Time adjusting abilities. Okay, so then she gets up, and of course all the eggs are in his mouth. Which how his mouth stretches as far, like there's some real spatial things that are going on there that we'll have to address later, okay? But Tweety, in his infinite wisdom, then takes that and smashes all the eggs together, right? So he kills an entire clutch of birds with no hesitation because violence has no consequences, death is non-permanent, and Tweety just doesn't even see him as life. So that says a lot about what his personal mentality is, right? And we're seeing it all bust out. Like this poor chicken has to do with all these traumas. She just seen her babies killed right in front of her. All of them. Just in seconds after having them. And then the bird's going to run by her so fast that when my man, the cat chases him, they rip her clothes. They blow all her clothes off. So you just saw all your babies getting killed and you're naked all of a sudden just like that. So first off, like, how are they running so fast? Like, how fast would you have to be running to rip all somebody's clothes off? That's a big factor here. Like, what's going on where you're running so fast that you strip her naked? How did you do this, right? This is absolutely insane. So they're manifesting, I'm going to say Mach 8. It seems like you'd have to hit Mach 8 to strip her naked. So overall, we see a cartoon that, man, is just riddled with like massive contradictions, but massive powers. They're really showing full flex of what the cartoon world is and how powerful you have to be in order to survive it.